It's all too much, I think you said enough. It stinks hypocrisy to me. I've had enough. The quotes you spin don't mean that much. You're trying to...
Good morning, everyone. I bet you'd wondered where I've gone, haven't you? This is just a quick one, really. I mean, there's so many things I could talk about at the moment, but this is just a quick one to say, no, I haven't forgotten about this channel. What's actually going to happen is it will take off properly after Christmas. Obviously, we've got to get Christmas out of the way. And I've got a few bits and bobs coming in January, middle of January, which will help us get these videos out quicker. And I just want to reiterate a few things. First of all, this is not going to be a channel just about the you-know-what and all that sort of stuff. We want it to be a bit of a laugh, and it'll be about lots of different things. Yes, it will be covering news, and I'll be saying what the bloody hell I want. And that's what it's all about, really. And also trying to get you lot involved. So I will talk a little bit about what's been going on over the last couple of weeks, and ask you a couple of questions, actually. The first one is, do you think that Boris Johnson is trying to give us a clue? And I'll tell you why. Because it struck me. I saw what he said, I think it was yesterday. He said, I've been given a choice of 3 different scenarios. And they were curfews after 8, limiting households and something else, whatever it was anyway. But what caught your ear about what I just said there? He said, I've been given a choice of. I've been given a choice of. What does that indicate to you? Does that indicate that he's trying to tell us someone else is pulling the strings? Or was it just a slip of the tongue? And obviously that's for you to decide. I would like to think kindly and think that he is trying to give us a clue. But I fear that he's just part of the problem, to be honest with you. So that one. So obviously we're all going to be locked down in the new year. We know something's going to happen, isn't it? Some sort of more restrictions are going to happen. Now you can probably hear that I've got a little bit of a cold. So obviously I'm going to be what do they call it? A thingy on the old NHS, a burden on the NHS, because I've got the sniffles. So yeah, I've got a bloody cold. Probably Omicron, eh? Am I allowed to say that? I'll tell you what we'll call it the old Mick and Ron from here. You know, that sniffly thing that you get that's stopped the whole world at the moment for a cold. Because that's the truth, is it not? Is it not the truth? What astounds me, and it does astound me, is that when old Boris and his ball sacks introduced all these restrictions again, everyone seemed to think that the old is going to do something. And I still can't get it that people don't see there's something wrong. Do you feel it in your gut? This is a serious question. Do you feel something's wrong? I don't want you to listen to me and go with my opinion, because my opinion is just my opinion. I'm wondering what your opinion is. Do you think there's something wrong? And if you do think there's something wrong, what are you doing about it? It's a poignant question, that, isn't it? What are you actually doing about it? Are you speaking out? Or are you just going along with the flow? Again, I'm not popping at anyone. I'm just saying, what are you actually doing about it? Do you dare say anything to people? Because I think, in my head, in Paul's world, I think one of the ways out of this is when you get into a conversation with people and they start going on about, oh yeah, I've just been for me, you know, extra one of those, me 91st one of those, and oh, I don't feel too well. Do you just go along with it and go, oh yeah, that's nice? Or do you ask them why? If they think there's something wrong, why? Do you question it? Because I think that's what we got to do, is instead of just going along comfortably and keeping our mouths it because we're scared of confrontation, maybe just place a few facts there. Now this is something that was also interesting, and this is something else I want to try and get you into the habit of for next year when we try and make this take off properly, is when I do links to things to certain people or things that are relevant to what I'm saying, they will actually be on our MeWe group. Okay, so we have a Living in the Ditch MeWe group, and that link will always be in our description. So there'll be a link to join our MeWe group. And the reason for that is because MeWe will allow you to post anything. It's not a right-wing thing or a left-wing thing or anything. It's just an alternative Facebook, which isn't clamping down on people. It's allowing free speech, put it that way. So by us putting the links there, we can't get kicked off YouTube or Facebook or anything like that. And that's what we're doing with everything. Although we have a Twitter account, I'm seriously thinking of maybe doing a Getter account, GETTR, or just see what else there is out there. Because I think it's time we did also come off of the mainstream social media. Obviously, we have to use YouTube at the moment. But there are alternatives to that. There's BitChute, there's Rumble and a couple of others. But they kind of don't seem to be taken off too well, in my opinion. YouTube is still the place to be so long as you're careful with what you say, because obviously the algorithms will get you. Again, hence putting the links on our MeWe group rather than in YouTube. But do you get what I'm saying? So basically I'm saying go and join our MeWe group if you want to get the proof of what I'm saying, because obviously I can't say everything as I want to say it on here. So there was something that happened also this week, and I actually did post this on our MeWe group. There's a guy called Dr. Malone. What's his name? I'm just going to have a look again. Dr. something Malone. Anyway, he's the inventor of the mRNA technology that goes into the... And he's basically said that we're going to have a massive public health incident on our hands because it's being used incorrectly. And he also went on to say, remember, this is the inventor. The inventor. Let that sink in. He's the inventor. He has said, don't the children, because more will than survive it. So you're going to more than you're going to protect. I think I'd rather believe him and listen to people like that actually invented the bloody thing, than someone like Boris and his ball sacks. So, and this is what this is all about, just calling out the truth. And if I can get one person, just one person, to go and do a little bit of their own research and then say, hold on, this isn't right. And then that one person may go and tell another 10 people. Those 10 people might tell another 1,000 people, and on it rolls. I do feel a little change is coming. I've seen it on social media, and I know Twitter's not the real world, and you all know I've got a love-hate relationship with Twitter. It's full of gobshites, let's be honest. But you can just see now that the responses, especially to some of the GB News posts, because GB News seems to just be another arm of the BBC. It started off well, but now it's asking some very strange questions. Do you support lockdowns? And trying to push all this agenda. Thinking, they've obviously been bought off. But the replies now are completely against. So, and that surprised me, because what I was seeing on Twitter was the first 10 or 20 would always go along with what the narrative is supposed to be by, you know, our leaders, our great leaders. And then you'd have to keep scrolling down to actually find the majority of people saying, no, this is wrong. But now I think they're just being outnumbered, and the algorithm can't keep up. And you're seeing straight from the get-go, people saying, no more, had enough, not going to comply. Now, of course, I can't come on here and encourage you to break the laws. You've also got to remember what are laws and what are advice. Mandates aren't necessarily laws. And there's a lot of things going through. You've got to try and keep the faith on this one, because there's a lot of stuff going through in the background with lawyers and things, and that are challenging mandated, because it's actually illegal. Just off the top of my head, and again, you'll have to go and do your own research on this, they brought these emergency powers in from a 1984 act, in fact. This is how it went through, not the you know, the emergency measures. It was actually something in 1984 that's given them these powers to what they think they have to mandate. And I read it, and it basically does say, yes, you can do this. But then you scroll the next paragraph or 3 down, it basically says you can't actually tell people what they can put in their bodies and what they can't. So the lawyers are on that. So let's just fingers crossed, because we can't go down that route. And that's something else. A few things that go on in my head is I can't remember a time in living history in my life, and I'm in my 50s now, early 50s, and I can't remember a time in my life where people have wanted, or seemingly millions of people have wanted something to be much worse than it actually is. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's people who seem to relish in all of this, and I'm guessing that those people have got secure jobs. They would get the old handouts from you know who, whereas all us people who are doing something for themselves have lost our businesses. So there's that. So I find that disturbing, and I also find the support for apartheid very, very worrying, because there are people openly saying if you don't do that, you should lose your job and you should have certain, things go against you. Seriously, what the hell? People are openly supporting medical apartheid, and I do find that very disturbing. Anyway, I think I'm just going to leave it at that. I just wanted to give you an update and make sure I haven't disappeared. The plans are in place. I have got a lot coming. As I say, middle of January, I hope to make this explode, and there'll be a lot more happening. As I say, I've got some equipment coming, which has been a massive investment for us. And the last money we can spend, we're going to be in real shit if we do go into lockdown again. I must admit. But I think we have to do this. We have to do this, yeah. We have to give everyone a voice. We have to give people some reassurance that not everyone's a lockdown nutter. And that try and give people some hope that things are changing. I keep my eye on the news, but as I said, I don't want this whole channel just to be about one subject. I will talk about idiots like virtue signalling sportsmen and stuff like that. No, I've got something I could say now, but I just got to be careful for now. I say, under the radar for a bit, get Christmas out of the way, then go for it in the new year. On the other channel, on Hannah the Narrowboat's channel, I don't know, I'm in a quandary with that at the moment, to be fair. I'm losing the will with it. If I'm really, really honest, I just don't think there's a lot more we can add to that channel. I'll keep it going, obviously, but I don't know. I think I've just had my confidence knocked on that one a little bit. So perhaps we'll see eventually that the whole thing just swings around onto living on a ditch. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. As I say, we'll keep on going with Hannah the Narrowboat for now, because that's just a bit of a laugh with me and Lee. But this will probably be a similar sort of thing, but just with me saying what I want to say, and without worrying whether I'm going to upset, some overly sensitive buttercup snowflake gobshite. So, but also just try and tell people how I feel, my truth, and give the evidence of where I get stuff from. And this is what I'm trying to say with what's going to happen in the new year. I've been working quite hard on working out hopefully the production value will look quite cool. So that's the thing I'm interested in. I like fiddling, and what I'm like. I like all the arty-farty stuff. So it'd be quite cool if it did actually look like a news station. But I'm no Alex Belfield, I'm no Andy Gabby Cabby. I'm not getting up first thing in the morning and looking for things to rant about. That's not me. I'll just have a laugh with you. I'll say what I think when I want to say what I think, and we'll try and churn out a load of videos and have a bit of fun together, yeah? So I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic Christmas. I really do. And don't let anyone tell you what you're doing over Christmas. Just do what you want to do, yeah? And whatever feels right for you. And that's all I really say. Like I say, God bless you all. I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.
We have shown that alcohol is the key to beating COVID. The UK was the first country to administer beer, and we've begun the fastest drinking campaign with over 500 million pints consumed yesterday alone. These achievements, made possible by the extraordinary efforts of our pubs and nightclubs, have literally saved countless lives. But I'm afraid it is now clear that 2 pints is not enough. But the good news is that with a third drink, a shooter dose, we can bring our level of intoxication back up. So we must act now. Today, we're launching the national mission to get boosting up people. So let's do it. Let's get boosting up now. Thank you very much.
You always put them down when you turn the story round. You're feeling pretty smart.